Get Ripple, the bright new drink with that ring-a-ding flavor. Ripple.
Hi.
Hello there, and welcome to the
Ripple Podcast.
We have guest listener tonight, Ashes.
Yeah, she's eating some peanut butter treats.
I had actually two people that I talked to today say that they want.
You talked to two people today?
I talked to a lot of people today.
Actually, you know what? I talked to one person today, but it was on the phone, so I don't know if that counts.
It's like a half person.
Yeah.
It's like a half count. No, but I talked to two people that said that they want to come and be guest listeners on the show, and that they'll make us drinks that go with our story.
No.
They're bribing us with
It's
alcohol.
not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
No. My words won't work.
They can sit right there.
No. Who are these people? Do I know them?
No. You've never met either of them. They're new listeners.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that scares me. That gives me anxiety. Did you see the video that I posted on our Instagram today?
I laughed so hard.
Isn't that us?
So hard.
That's exactly what you're describing, too.
Mm-hmm. We should, you posted it on Instagram stories.
Yeah, it's probably going to be long gone. I don't know. Maybe we can highlight it or something.
Yeah.
But it was a story of an extrovert having a conversation with an introvert. And it is definitely how Rosa and I have conversations.
It's like, hey, you want to go out tonight? And the other person's like, no. And can I bring some friends? And the other person's like, no, I don't. No. No.
Can I leave without saying goodbye?
Yeah, it was cute. It was really funny.
So you said you had some stories you wanted to tell me.
I do. So on Saturday, I called you on my way to Santa Paula to work. And you were on your way to the doggy emergency room.
Mm-hmm. That was fun times.
Yeah, we'll let you talk about that in a second. But the reason I called you was because I saw something on the side of the road.
You did mention this to me.
Mm-hmm. I didn't tell you what I saw, but I saw something on the side of the road. Now, think about all of the things that you've seen on the side of the road that are just kind of weird or strange or just like, what was that? I mean, you always hear about people saying like, oh, I thought I saw a mannequin and it was actually like a dead body. It's nothing like that. Yeah,
people say that all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
So what have you seen? Well, all the time.
I've seen the creepiest thing that I've ever seen on the side of the road. This was in Bardsdale. Was what appeared to be a bloody mattress. Oh. And I took a picture of it and sent it to you. It was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to say that's probably the creepiest thing I've ever found on the side of the road. Oh, the strangest thing, though, I did find a chicken and I took that home. And then I also found not really all that strange, but a table that I refinished and sold on Facebook Marketplace.
I do remember that too.
But yeah, those are my side of the road findings.
Okay, so this is on the freeway. So this is on the 126 where it's going fast. So I didn't have time to like slow down and take a picture. And also, based on what it was, I wouldn't do that because I had my kid in the car too.
Oh.
I saw a probably 2.5 foot dildo.
I was going to guess that. I was going to guess that.
Yeah. With a suction cup on the end.
Oh, you should have let me guess. I had that in my brain.
I've sent it to you. Not the penis, but the thought. Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, what? Like, what I'm thinking is someone like stuck this on the top of somebody's car.
Yeah.
Because it was a suction cup and it like went flying off.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, a giant dildo.
Yeah, I mean, you did that to me. I think we've told this story before.
I didn't stick it on top of your car.
No,
I left it at your apartment.
Yeah, I don't remember where you put it. I don't know.
But it made the dog. I gave it to your dog for a chew toy.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. And that was like a good couple feet. I want to say it was about 2 feet.
It probably was from the same company.
Yeah.
It's total jokey, hilarious giant penis company.
But yeah, that made the rounds in the college houses and stuff at parties. It got stuck to people's doors and windows and
good times
all over the place.
I have another funny story for you, talking about like personalities and who we are and everything. I spent last night at the most fancy like inn in the county, pretty much.
I think it's more than that. I think it's like the fanciest in like Southern California, probably.
It's super,
like all of the LA people come up to it,
and it's super celebrities, like they go there. The Ojai Valley Inn is just super, super fancy. And I got a night away from the family and the house as a Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm.
And I cashed it in last night, and it was fantastic. And I went to dinner, and I came back to my hotel room, and I had a big bottle of wine. And I'm soaking in this like giant bathtub, watching trash TV, drinking my wine and eating ice cream. I mean,
sounds amazing.
it was fantastic. And all of a sudden, I hear this knock, knock, knock
No.
on the door. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe
They had the wrong door.
maybe they had the wrong door, or maybe they said they were going to send champagne to my room for me. And maybe it's the champagne people, and they'll just like leave it outside my door or whatever.
I don't know if they can do that.
Leave champagne outside my door?
I mean, I might steal that.
Well,
But
yeah.
that's why I don't go to these fancy places.
And so I didn't say anything. I'm in the bathtub. I'm like in a giant, like super deep, deep bathtub. And then I hear again, knock, knock, knock. And I'm like, crap, they're not going to go away. So I'm like literally struggling to get out of this bathtub because it's like my feet or my legs are like 2 inches tall, and the bathtub is like I have to like climb up the wall and like put my legs over the side and like jump over.
What the hell kind of bathtub is this?
A huge one.
There's a drought in California, right?
Huge bathtub. So I jump out, and all I want to do is pretty much like close the bathroom door because I had it wide open because no one else is there. So if they open the door, they're going to see my wet, naked body standing there.
They can open the door.
Oh, well, they did. Luckily.
Why would they do that?
Because, Angela, luckily I was able to like close the bathroom door really quickly just as they're opening it. And I hear this voice that says, room service? And I was like, yes. Like,
well, don't say that.
well, no. Like what can I do for you? And she goes, do you want turn down service? And I'm like, no.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, that's what I said. That's when I told Nick later. I'm like, I don't even know what turn down service
Don't
means.
they just like pull your sheets back for you?
And
do they
fluff
tuck you in?
I don't know. I go, no, I'm good, thanks. And
What is turn? Did you look it up?
no, I didn't really care all that much because I didn't get it. I don't want you in my room. This is my alone time. Yeah. Do you want turn down service? I like literally had visions of like Tommy Boy. Like, remember that?
Housekeeping?
Yeah. Housekeeping. You want
me
fresh
to look
towel? You want me to jerk you off? Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was going to be like a really wholesome episode based on the story that I have, but with your dildo story and now your turn down service, yeah, not so much.
Do you have a story for me? Do you want to tell me about Ashes?
I'm going to tell you about what a turn down service is.
Okay, tell me.
In a hotel, turn down service is the preparation of a room for a guest to sleep in, a slightly turning back the comforter. Yeah, it's seriously pulling the comforter back. They turn down the lights.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe
Why can't you do that by yourself?
I have no idea. I don't understand.
And with the way I toss and turn all night long and move pillows around and stuff.
Really nice.
No.
It's got to be more than that. Like, 'cause that's kind of what I thought it was. I don't even know why. I've heard about it before, but yeah, that's bizarre.
I don't know. I was so confused as to what I was supposed to do. I'm so not fancy. Like if I go to like a DoubleTree, that's like fancy for me.
Yeah, that's like up there. That's really fancy for me. They have cookies on the pillows, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I remember you and I went to like the fanciest DoubleTree ever in I think in the Bay Area, and we slept on the floor. Remember that?
Oh, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, that's the fanciest hotel. Oh no, I went to the Madonna Inn. The Madonna Inn was amazing, but they don't do any of that stuff.
That's more like novelty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Where
my
did we
level.
stay when we stole the bottles of wine?
DoubleTree.
Oh, okay. That was nice.
Yeah, that was a good time.
They're not going to let us there anymore.
No. Although I don't know if the rooms were under our name. So,
Okay,
we
that's
might
good.
be able to get back there someday. So yeah.
Oh, we have a present for you.
Oh, okay.
This is
This
from
is
the
second week in a row I got presents.
This is from the
Wow.
Ojai Valley Inn.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that so cute?
Glycerin bar. Pixie. Oh, it's a little orange.
It's a half of a
little
tangerine.
Pixie tangerine.
You know how you were saying like DoubleTree has
That smells really good.
cookies and stuff?
Uh-huh.
They had pixie tangerines. Not on the pillows, but in like on the desk area.
That is very Ojai.
It was cute.
Did you go crystal shopping and get any like dried sage and have your chakra aligned?
I could have had a sound bath.
The fuck is that?
And
I don't think after talking about the Dyatlov Pass and the other place that I talked about, I don't remember what it's called
starts
anymore.
with a K. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I ever want a sound bath.
Yeah, it was. It's funny that you mentioned that because one of our newer listeners, this guy named Danny, sent us 2 stories about how sound affects, I think it was plants, how sound affects plants.
Ooh, interesting.
And the other was spiders on LSD.
Yes.
He sent these videos to us. So
I'm excited about this.
I'll show them to you. But so
I'm
that's
very excited
our
about
new listener, Danny.
Wow. That's like right up my alley.
It's cool.
Plants and spiders.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And LSD.
All right, do you want to tell me your story?
My real story or my story about this dog that's laying next to you that's currently wearing the t-shirt that you gave me last time you came over?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so this is the second week in a row that I had an emergency vet visit. And
You're going to be so poor.
I already am, dude. I don't know how, watch, he's going to knock that over. I don't know how many times I've talked about emergency vet visits since we started this podcast, but I feel like I've told these stories many times. But yeah, last week, or last weekend, I should say, on Saturday morning, my dog rolled over and I was giving her a little belly rub, Ashes, and she had a hole in her armpit from where she impaled herself on something. I don't know what. It didn't seem to bother her at all, but it was like,
you wouldn't have known if you weren't rubbing her belly.
no, it was all like bloody. It was kind of dried. It must have happened the day before. She wasn't showing any indication of like discomfort or pain at all. She was just being her regular self, but she had this
girl.
and it was freaking deep. Like I think I sent you a picture where you could look down inside of this hole and it was just like darkness. It was a void. Like it went deep down into her little armpit.
Back to episode 42,
into the void. Yeah, so conveniently, I mean, I think I would have been able to get her into the regular vet had it been a weekday, but of course it's a Saturday morning and none of the regular vet offices are open, so I got to drive her to Thousand Oaks to the urgent care and spend $125 just to walk through the door.
I was going to say, if that was your total,
no.
Easy.
No, that was just to be seen. And yeah, I spent the entire day because, I mean, luckily it wasn't a life-threatening emergency, but because it wasn't life-threatening and she was stable and comfortable, she kept getting pushed back for all
when
the other more urgent animals came in. And so they kept telling me, oh yeah, she'll be ready in about 30 more minutes. Oh, about 30 more minutes. So I dropped her off at 9 a.m. and I picked her up at 6:30. So I spent my entire day just hanging out, waiting around
for the puppies.
Yeah, so that was fun.
But she's all good now.
Yeah, she is, and she's currently bribing or begging, I should say, for treats right now.
All right, well, I'm ready for your story.
Okay. So I don't know if you remember my little hint that I gave you last time about my story.
Something found.
Yes, kind of, sort of, in a way, something appearing.
Okay.
So we've talked about mysterious disappearances previously. I think the very first one we ever talked about was Amelia Earhart disappearing. And then we also talked about another aircraft that vanished when we talked about the Michigan Triangle story.
Okay.
It was a huge passenger aircraft. And we've briefly discussed, we haven't done a full story on it, about the Malaysian airline flight 370. Do you remember that?
I remember us talking about it, but I don't really remember why.
Probably when we were talking about Michigan Triangle. We need to do a full episode on that one. And that one, if just to refresh your memory a little bit, it left Paris in 2014 with 227 passengers, and they were never seen again.
Wait, 2014?
Yeah. You don't remember when this one's all over the news?
I feel like it was longer ago than that. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was 2014. That wasn't really that long ago. It was March 8th, 2014, when that entire...
That's tomorrow, March 8th.
Whoa. That means something.
Something. It totally means something.
We're going to find it.
Wow.
Yeah. So according to Wikipedia, there are over 90 commercial airliners that have gone missing without a trace, and hundreds, maybe even thousands of private planes that seem to have taken flight and never landed.
That's a lot of aircraft that just disappears.
It is, but we're not talking about disappearances. We're talking about appearances tonight.
No, okay, that's
so
weird.
forget about all of that.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of an aircraft appearing completely out of thin air?
I watched a TikTok about a cloud that was like a UFO, but other than that, no.
Yes, UFOs.
But no, I don't know of an aircraft that, hey guys, here I am.
Well, let me tell you about one. An unexplainable flying object witnessed by the public and government officials. And to this day, no one can explain how this aircraft arrived or where it went once it vanished.
Okay,
so this actually didn't happen that long ago. This event happened on June 13th, 1993 at 7:57 a.m.
Okay.
Where were you?
93, I was in high school. Probably doing something I was not supposed to be doing.
I mean, you didn't really have to answer that. I mean, I was just kind of like throwing it out there. But this actually occurred not too far from us either. So this happened at John Wayne Airport.
Okay, that's not too far.
Okay, are you familiar with John Wayne Airport?
I don't think I've been there, but I know of it.
Yeah, so it's a commercial airport. It serves Orange County.
It's big. It's real big, right?
It's really big, but not LAX big. It's a commercial airport. Like, it has airliners. And it serves, Los Angeles, Orange County, that area. The airport is actually located in an unincorporated area of Orange County, and John Wayne Airport is surrounded by cities. So Irvine is the surrounding area, Newport Beach, Costa Mesa. It was originally called Orange County Airport, but it was renamed. That's not important to this story. So in 2014...
John Wayne. Why?
Because he's a movie star. Everybody loves John Wayne.
But is he from that area?
I don't know. I didn't look up John Wayne. This isn't about him.
I'm just curious, why? Why would you name an airport after John Wayne?
You want me to read it to you?
No.
Let me tell you why.
I'm just...
No. You asked, so you're going to find out now. I don't know. I didn't copy and paste that portion of Wikipedia into my story, but there is a statue of John Wayne installed at the airline terminals in 1982. So there you go.
Okay.
So 2014, John Wayne Airport. This is after the occurrence, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of background in case you're not familiar with that airport, just what it's all about. So in 2014, it was considered the second busiest airport in the greater Los Angeles area.
After LAX.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it served over 9 million total passengers. And as of 2015, the largest airlines at John Wayne Airport are Southwest, American Airlines, United Airlines, Alaskan Airlines, and Delta.
It's not Alaskan.
I know. It's Alaska. I was just going to keep going with that.
It's Alaska Airlines.
Why? You have a story about this?
No, my friend works for Alaska, and she always corrects us when we say Alaskan.
Oh, do you always say that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, we all did. We all used to say that.
That was just my tongue not working right.
Oh no, we used to all
say Alaskan.
Yeah. Oh, what airline are you gonna fly on? Oh, I'm taking Alaskan. And she'd go, it's Alaska Airlines.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Reza's friend. Alaska Airlines. In addition to the airline terminals, several of the facilities on the airport serve general aviation and corporate aviation communities. So that's like your private jets, Clay Lacy. I don't know if you're familiar with Clay Lacy. That's the organization that does a lot of the stunt flying for movies. That's located at John Wayne Airport.
Okay.
So a few other things, probably, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, but like other things like sky typing and that sort of stuff. So it has more than just airliners is kind of what I'm getting at.
It's very used by multiple facets, if you will.
Look at you all fancy with your vocabulary.
I can't spell it, but I can say it.
So John Wayne has 2 runways. There's a main runway that I'm not going to give you the length of because it doesn't really matter. And the largest aircraft that can actually fly out of that area is a Boeing 757, if you're familiar with that.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I think that's like a Hawaii-size airplane.
Couldn't tell you.
I sounded smart.
It sounds big. I don't know. But I guess some of the bigger ones, like the ones that are wider, like a Airbus, they can't fly out of it because it's too small.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I'm getting to. My next point is that John Wayne Airport has been rated one of the nation's scariest airports.
Why?
Let me tell you. To compensate for the relatively short runway and to comply with local noise restrictions, small private planes are required to take off at an angle of up to 20 degrees, while commercial aircrafts often reach 25 degrees, which is steeper than any other airport. So the maximum takeoff weight restrictions apply to some of these aircrafts to make that steep pitch of a takeoff, so that they will sometimes halt boarding before the plane is full because they've met like their weight restrictions, which is kind of crazy.
And that's mainly because the runway is so short?
Yeah.
So they have to like
They have
crank it.
to compensate. They have to, put on some extra throttle and get that angle a little bit steeper.
I
to
wonder
take
if
off.
the passengers can feel that difference.
Apparently you can. And I guess that's why it's considered one of the scariest airports to fly out of.
Well, especially for people that are nervous about flying. And then you're just like, whoa.
Yeah,
like
taking off like a rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in 1985, a settlement agreement for John Wayne Airport came about after the local community complained about the noise, which is always really stupid. It's like you moved next to an airport.
Totally.
Get over it. It was considered a noise-sensitive area, so in order to continue in operations, they had to change their protocols a little bit. So they had to carry out a noise abatement enforcement, which had put up these monitors. So there's 10 monitors around the perimeter of the airport that have sensors that will like record the highest level of noise that a certain airplane reaches. And if it's too noisy, it will go off and it will record the time that this happens, and they will get like either a fine or a warning or something.
Is that really their fault?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's maybe the direction that they're flying. Like if they need to not have on full power or whatever when they're over this neighborhood, or maybe they need to avoid that neighborhood altogether. Like even Santa Paula, our local airport, you're supposed to, when you take off, you have to avoid this one trailer park area to not be so noisy flying over it.
Stupid.
It is, but I guess that's just what they agreed upon. So another rule that they created to help with this noise situation is they had a curfew, and I think they might still have this curfew, and it limited commercial departures between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. and commercial arrivals between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. So basically, when people are at home sleeping or doing whatever, they don't want noisy aircrafts coming in and out.
Okay.
So another rule that the county decided on is that they would have time restrictions. So between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. on Sundays, arrivals and departures would be limited to just emergencies only. So otherwise, you're not able to use that airport because people are sleeping.
They have like a curfew they have to follow.
Exactly. They have a curfew. So on June 13th of 1993, which happened to be a Sunday, at 7:57 a.m., just before the permitted operating hours of the airport, an aircraft appeared low in the sky, unannounced.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Like you say an aircraft?
Yes.
It's an airplane, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay.
And Rosa, if you open up the document that I sent you, I think the very first picture is that aircraft.
The little red and black and yellow airplane.
Yeah.
Cute.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like an aerobatic, like fast racer type plane.
Wow, you're good. You're pretty much an aircraft expert.
I
because
am.
That's exactly what it was.
Oh, look at me.
So this aircraft, which Rosa mentioned, is bright red. So it's hard to miss. You're going to see this thing in the sky. It's a small plane that zipped through the sky, performing beautiful maneuvers throughout the airport's pattern. And from what witnesses say, it was doing aerobatics and just flying around super fast, low and then high, all over the place. And the plane wasn't at all stealth. In fact, it was hard to miss with that bright red color, and it was a really loud plane. And if you didn't see it, you definitely heard it. So, go ahead.
And maybe you don't have this information, but I'm just comparing it again to Santa Paula. When you're an aerobatic pilot, you have certain aerobatic boxes that you're allowed to stay in. Did this plane have to follow those regulations as well when it's doing tricks in the air?
This plane wasn't following any regulations.
Okay.
So one had already broke curfew. And then again, this is like a controlled airport because there's big time commercial planes flying in and out of it.
Yeah, you can't be just doing
So,
loop-de-loos wherever you want.
Just showing up in that area completely unannounced was probably already making some sort of violation.
Okay.
So this little single passenger plane was anything but quiet, and it sped around this imaginary racetrack in the sky and shook the windows of the neighboring houses. So the pilot seems to perform his own private show when he buzzed the residents of Orange County while they were sipping their morning coffee. I must have written this when I was like in a really creative writing sort of phase. I put a lot of adjectives in this.
Descriptive,
Yeah.
scenarios.
As you might expect, the people of Orange County weren't thrilled to wake up on a Sunday morning to the sound of this speeding plane.
I mean, I'd kind of like it.
I don't know. It's pretty early. So, Rosa, actually, if you scroll down a little bit,
Okay.
there's another picture of the plane,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see in this picture that somebody's standing next to it. Do you want to describe that a little bit, just like the size?
Of the airplane itself?
Yes.
It's not a huge airplane at all. Like you said, it's a single passenger. And so there's this man standing on the front, kind of like leaning on the front wing. And he's maybe 6 feet tall. So this airplane is maybe 16 feet long.
Why are you trying to do numbers right now?
I am. I'm really good at it. But it's not it's not a big plane at all. It's way smaller than like your typical like Cessna that you would see flying around.
Yeah, and something you probably wouldn't expect at John Wayne Airport.
Well, this looks like they're at like an air show or something. These people here. So it's something that you would see performing at an air show.
Right. So before long, the complaint calls. Oh, I'm sorry. The picture that I was also going to show you, if you scroll down, I think a little bit more, the next one. So that's John Wayne Airport.
Okay.
So if you want to describe that a little bit, just like the surrounding areas.
It's surrounded by, I don't know if it's residential or business, but it's surrounded by businesses, like flat cement businesses. There's not like agriculture, quiet mountains or anything around it. It's definitely very packed in buildings is the word I was looking for.
So before long, the complaint calls started pouring in, and some people were upset with the noise, and others thought this pilot was being dangerous, just flying so low and so fast. Residents actually could identify the aircraft from its tail number and report it when they called into the airport, and that's like how low it was, so that they could just read it off of this little tiny plane.
That's super low.
Yeah, so
that's
the number
really low.
The number was N21X, and the complaints were warranted because this plane actually set off 3 of those noise monitors that I told you about earlier.
Okay.
And the sound was as high as 90.9 decibels. I have no idea what that means, but it seems like a big number.
It is. I'm looking again at those pictures of the airplane and the tail number, and that tail number is so little. Like, I can't even imagine, like, seeing that fly by me and being able to read it. That is craziness.
Yeah.
That they were able to get that tail number.
So while it's not on record, we can only assume that the air traffic controller attempted to make contact with the little red plane, but failed to do so because there was never any like back and forth that ever went on.
Okay.
So after a little while, after this crazy low flying and aerobatics, the aircraft began to climb and head west over the ocean until it was never seen again. It just kind of like flew up and out and away it went.
Okay, so who's flying it?
Well, that's a great question.
Because it's obviously like a personal airplane.
Right. So that tail number was registered to a man named Donald Slayton, more commonly known as Deke Slayton. Have you heard of Deke Slayton before?
I was going to say, should I know that name? Because I don't.
I didn't know this name either, but apparently he's a pretty famous guy when it comes to aviation. So he's actually an astronaut.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so big time. But his career in aviation started way back in World War II when he joined the U.S. Army Air Force or Army Air Corps in hopes of becoming a pilot. So he has like a mile-long resume. Extremely accomplished pilot, did all kinds of historical, amazing things in aviation. And if I told you all of them, we would be here all night. But if you're interested in that stuff, I highly recommend you look him up and watch some of the videos because he did all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm just going to point out like a couple little key things that I thought were interesting, and then we'll get back to this mysterious appearing and disappearing plane.
Okay.
So when he first joined the Air Force, he was rejected into the flight program anyway, because he had a severed ring finger from a farming accident as a child, which deemed him medically unfit. So he wasn't approved. But eventually, whether it was because of his persistence or because of the war, he was admitted into the program, and he flew a North American B-25.
Mm-hmm.
So Rosa, if you look on your pictures, you can see some of the stuff that he flew. After completing his first combat tour, he applied to fly the new A-26 Invader bomber aircraft, which he piloted.
Wow, that is a hard word to say.
Isn't it?
Piloted.
He flew through 7 combat missions over Japan. So then after he retired from the Air Force after the war, he got a job working as an aeronautical engineer used his GI Bill, got a degree. Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Became an aeronautical engineer. And then he joined the Army Air Force Reserves. And there he wanted to fly in the Korean War. But once he went through his whole physical again, he actually failed to pass the eye exam. So I don't know what he did, because I don't really know how you fix your eyes. I don't know. Maybe he got some contacts or something. But he kind of was persistent and got back into the flying program and became a P-51 pilot.
Wow.
Yeah,
cool.
Very cool. And he just kept progressing, and he was a training pilot, and he was a test pilot for all of these different aircrafts. Really, really interesting. I'm not going to get super deep into it. But he eventually went into the space program. Like I said, he was an astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
But before he became an astronaut, he failed again the medical examination, this time because he had a heart condition.
Jeez.
But he cleaned up his diet. He started working out, exercising more, retested for the medical examination, and passed this time. So in 1971, he returned to flight status, and in 1975, he was 51 years old and was the oldest astronaut at the time to take flight. He actually almost died when there was an exhaust leak into the flight cabin.
Oh my gosh.
But he made it home and made a full recovery and retired in 1982.
Where'd he get to fly to?
Space.
Just.
No, I want to say he went to the space station, the International Space Station.
Oh, so he like landed and.
Doctor, I don't know. Don't ask me these questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what he did.
Sure, sounds good.
He did a lot of really cool things.
Yeah.
Very cool things. And he continued to do cool things even after his retirement in 1982 because he took up air racing.
That's insane.
Yes. So
at how old? 52?
No, he went to space in 51. Sorry. He went to space when he was 51 years old, and that was in 1975. And in 1982 is when he took up air racing. So that's 7 years later, and 7 plus 2, he was 59 years old when he started air racing. Are you saying wow because of my math skills, or
no?
Because I'm kind of impressed that I did that quickly.
Oh, I didn't even try. I was just listening to you say some numbers. 60 years old and air racing.
Yep, pretty badass.
That is super cool. I'm super impressed by that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So he bought a Williams 17, an all-metal Formula One race plane that he called the Stinger. He finished his first race with an average speed of 201.45 miles per hour.
Pretty speedy.
Yep, and he was in second place. No, I did that backwards. He finished his second race in first place. His second race, he won first place. There we go. So over the next 8 years, Slayton raced 43 times in 18 different meets, and he continued to consult for various aviation projects. And he actually was the president of Space Service, Inc.
Did he ever fly in Reno? At Reno?
Yes, he did.
That's cool.
In October of 1983, he married his wife, Bobby Osborne.
Wait, how old was he when he got married?
60-something.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they moved back to, I guess she was from League City, Texas.
Mm.
So in 1991, Slayton began experiencing health problems again. And in 1992, doctors discovered that he had a malignant brain tumor.
Yikes.
And on June 13th, 1993, at the age of 69, Deke took his last breath while holding his wife's hand in their Texas home just 6 hours before his plane, the Stinger, was spotted taking flight at John Wayne Airport, even though at the time, Deke had already passed, and his plane was on display at the Reno Sparks Air Museum.
Wait, what? Okay, so his plane was seen in California, but his plane was on display in Nevada.
That's correct.
Okay, tell me some more because I'm already really confused.
Well, he was dead.
Well, yeah, he took his last breath.
So a few weeks later, his wife, Bobby, thought that it was a really cruel joke when she received this letter in the mail. And Rosa, if you pull up your document again, if you scroll to the bottom, I don't know if you can make that out at all, but
the
if
notice
you want
of violation
to read it.
Nighttime curfew. I can't read the address. It says something Texas.
Oh, you don't have to read that part. That was his home. It just, you could start where it says, Dear Mr. Slayton.
Dear Mr. Slayton, the John Wayne Airport noise
abatement. It's kind of hard to read because it's like been scanned a bunch of times.
Abatement office has recorded noise readings in excess of the nighttime curfew standards permitted under the JIVA, I'm guessing.
JWA, John Wayne Airport.
Okay. Oh, okay. There's a line in the W. It's not all the way there. These letters aren't full. Noise ordinance by an aircraft registered in your name as follows. Registration number N21X. Monitor, I don't know what that means. Noise.
Yeah, so those, you don't have to read all of the numbers if you don't want to, but those are the 3 monitors that he triggered when he set off the noise limits.
Okay. So it was monitored at monitor 1, 90.4, when the limit is,
I think it's 86.
Okay. That kind of looks like a 3 or a 5, but you're right. The other 2 look more like 86s. Anyway, so he was like 4 whatever over that one, and the second one was 90.9, and the third one was 89.5. My staff is willing to make every effort to provide you with assistance to bring you into compliance or to refer you to other operators, pilots who are able to operate within acceptable noise standards for their advice and assistance. Do you want me to keep going?
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay.
You kind of got the gist of it. So, yeah, so she received this notice in the mail about a week after he died, and that violation occurred, and all of these eyewitnesses saw his plane do these crazy aerobatics and make these laps around the field as if he was in an air race, and then head up out to the west over the ocean and disappear. So what do you make of that?
Did anyone see anyone flying the airplane? If they're so able to see the tail number, were they able to see a pilot?
I don't know, and it's really hard to say if you could even see a pilot because, and we'll post these pictures on the Instagram. This is a race plane, and it's meant to be as streamlined as possible to go as fast as possible. So it doesn't really have like a bubbly big cockpit. It's like pretty low profile. So I mean, even if you did, he might have been wearing like a helmet or something. But yeah, I mean, there's various theories. Some people say that like, oh, it was like a tribute. But the thing is, only his wife at that time knew that he was even dead. So
and his airplane was on display at a museum.
Right.
So if someone was doing a tribute to him, they would have their own airplane. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they can't like sneak it out of a museum and go zipping around.
Yeah. Logistically, it just wouldn't make sense to do that. To get the plane, get it in. I don't even know if it was operational at the time. It's sitting in a museum. It wasn't meant to be flown anymore. So yeah, people have their various theories. Like he had such a passion for aviation, and that was like his entire life's work, that he took one last flight in the afterlife.
I love that. I think that's so amazing. I don't know. It's bizarre because, like you said, it was not only seen by tons and tons of witnesses, but it also registered on the noise
meters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to research like a lot of different theories and stuff, but I just kind of like it. I think it's a good story the way it is. I think I just want to think of it that way. I mean,
I think it's really sweet.
It's pretty cool. I hope everybody gets to take their last flight.
What, okay, say you die. What is yours going to be?
My last thing.
How are you going to come back and show everybody like, hey, I'm doing one more lap?
Maybe horseback riding?
Yeah, that's your most passionate.
I think so. I mean, it's not a very fun or exciting answer, but what's yours?
Shopping at Goodwill?
I was going to say that, but we were just talking about that before we started recording. I know what yours would be going to the beach, I think. I think yours would be swimming in the ocean. You would just become a mermaid. Oh, you would go into the beach just like a regular human-bodied Rosa, and then you would just keep on swimming.
And they'd see a tail flap up.
I think that would be yours.
Okay, I'll take it.
I did have one other little thing that I forgot to add in, and it's not really relevant. I mean, if you want to get into some serious, crazy conspiracy theories, you can think about this one as being a part of the story. But Deke Slayton was also the very first astronaut to ever... What? Tell me.
Nothing. I thought, are you going to say something about time travel?
In a way,
okay.
Sort of. Okay, so this is kind of a stretch of connection here. But then again, so is a ghost plane flying around a super populated airport. So actually, before he was even an astronaut, I think this is back in World War II days, he was flying around, and he was the first one to report to, I guess, the military, a UFO. Like, he saw what he thought was an alien. And I'll play the little clip of him talking about it. Also, I just want you to hear his super cool voice, because he sounds like a, I don't know, like a 50s movie star or something. He sounds exactly like what you would expect a pilot from World War II to sound like.
His wife is from Texas. Where is he originally from?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have a Texas drawl.
No. So this connection is that some people have is that he somehow built a relationship with these like beings from another planet and zipped off to live with them. Don't like that one as much?
I think he would have told people about it.
Well, maybe he did. I mean, we do have a recording of him talking about his UFO encounter.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so it's only 1 minute long.
And about what he saw on a test pilot flight in 1952. Deke Slayton.
As I closed on this thing, well, it looked like a weather balloon, and that's what I presumed it was. And I had plenty of gas and time, so I decided I'd just come back around and make a pass on it. And I got around where I should have been coming back on this thing. All of a sudden, it didn't look like a balloon anymore. It looked like a saucer sitting on edge, about a 45-degree angle. I didn't have any gun camera film on board, unfortunately, or I'd have shot some pictures of it. And about that time, I guess whatever it was, for whatever reason, just took off climbing at about a 45-degree angle and just accelerated and disappeared. And I obviously couldn't follow it with an old piston engine fighter. So I turned around and went home.
Huh.
But
So
isn't...
he saw something that looked like a balloon, and then he turned around and saw it looked like a saucer, but he didn't have any film, and he couldn't follow it because it was going so fast.
Yeah, and isn't that kind of what you hear? Like if you listen to the most recent like UFO sightings with like the Tic Tac alien crafts, where they talk about how they'll be like kind of in one spot and then all of a sudden they just dart super fast in one direction. So it is very similar. But then I also thought it was super similar to the way they describe his plane. Like he did all of this stunt work over the airport and then he went off at like a 45. He just climbed and disappeared.
Wow. I still think that he was like more saying like goodbye.
Yeah.
And his plane like literally disappeared. It's gone.
Well, no, it's still in the museum.
Oh.
Yeah. So now I don't think it's in Reno anymore, or Sparks, I should say. It's in Wisconsin now, but at the time it was in Sparks. But yeah, his plane never left the museum. So all of this, I mean, obviously his body didn't leave Texas and his plane didn't leave the museum. So all of this was just like an astral projection of his race days.
How many people reported seeing the plane?
I don't know.
No.
I didn't have exact numbers. There were just like numerous phone calls and then the monitors picking it up. And
Well, and it was phone calls from like residents and
Right.
stuff. It wasn't like airport people.
Right. And apparently airport people saw it too. I mean, there was multiple people that had this same story.
I love it.
Isn't it great?
I love it. I think it's so cool.
And I feel like we tell so many stories where at the end we're just like, well, that was awful.
And let's go cry into our pillows now.
Exactly. So I thought this was a nice change.
I love it. It's a great story.
It was so nice and wholesome, and you had to go and ruin it with your dildo stories.
And your fresh towels.
Yeah.
But you didn't start out, which you should have, telling me what I'm drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Or that I drank.
Well, we started drinking before we started recording, which is part of the reason why my tongue doesn't work. This is Balcom Canyon Cidery.
Local.
Yeah, so Balcom Canyon is local to us in Ventura County. I actually work on their ranch, and I wonder if this is the same Balcom Canyon ranch that I go to for my job. But yeah, it's really delicious.
Super cute little label.
They actually have, I have another one in the fridge that's a different style. So this one is called, how do you say it? Saison style, which I have no idea what that means, but Rosa does.
I don't know what it means. I just know how to say it.
Oh, well,
when we do beer judging at the fair, it's a saison. It's the style of beer, like an IPA or a porter. It's a saison.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I like it. It's really light. It says it's honey apple wine with natural flavors, cold pressed apples, and local orange blossom honey fermented together, lightly hopped and carbonated. And it is from Balcom Canyon in Fillmore, and it was bottled in Camarillo.
Super local.
I actually had it while I was waiting for Ashes to get stitched up at the vet, because Tarantula Hill Brewery is down the road from the vet's office, and they have it there. But then yesterday when I went grocery shopping at our favorite grocery outlet,
Bargain Market,
I found it there.
I love the label. It's so cute. It's got like a little hill with like the sun coming out, and then all these like lily looking flowers with little bees flying all over it.
I think they're orange blossoms.
Oh. I thought they were lilies. But it's like very like kind of child play-ish. Like kid drawing-ish.
So when you want to get your kids drunk,
this is what you
just
give
get
them.
some Balcom Canyon cider.
Put a nipple on the bottle.
It's really refreshing. It's pretty. It's on the sweet side.
It's not as sweet like as a mead.
No. Definitely not that sweet.
But it's got that honey
flavor.
Like I thought almost you added honey to it. Like I could totally taste it with the honey in it. It's good.
Very good. Really good summer drink.
Cool. Okay, well, I have, like I told you, I don't think I said it while we were recording, but I have 3 listener requests.
I'm excited.
Like recent ones on top of our other ones.
Yeah, we still have a list to go through. This was not a listener request. Well, it kind of was. It was a listener request from somebody that I know personally.
My dad?
Yeah.
He sent us the story. Like, or said it, but...
And now he can't listen to it because you're talking about dildos and hand jobs.
I never said a hand... I did. Oh, my God. Do I have to cut all of that out?
No, I'll just tell him the story in person. He doesn't have to listen to this.
No, please don't let him. Do not let him.
He doesn't know how to podcast.
Okay, good.
Or listen to podcasts.
Okay, so I have 2 truths in life for you about airplanes, and pilots.
Oh, God. I don't know this stuff.
Yeah, you do. Well, maybe you do.
Okay.
You got to use your best gut judgment.
Okay. I am good at this game, though. I've been pretty lucky so far.
You really have been, and it sucks because I get it wrong every time. All right, ready?
Ready.
Number 1, oxygen masks. Like if there's air pressure, cabin pressure.
Yeah.
And you have to put an oxygen mask on.
Sure.
It'll only last you 30 minutes before it.
That's a bummer.
Before it expires, I guess.
Okay.
You
don't want any of that expired oxygen.
Number 2, a way that the pilots communicate with the airline, you can't say stewardess anymore, flight attendants, is by blinking the seatbelt button.
Oh, okay.
And number 3, pilots don't eat the same meals as the passengers.
Wait, one of these is a lie?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're all true. Okay.
Get the fake one out.
I'm gonna go with, I don't think that they would eat the same meals as the passengers because those meals suck. They really do. And I feel like they're in and out of airports all the time. Like, why not just grab something from the airport? I'm going to go with the oxygen one.
The 30-minute limit, time limit?
Uh-huh.
You're fucking correct.
It's only 10 minutes.
It's only 15 minutes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, they only last you 15 minutes. They only have 15 minutes of air available.
Because if you think about it, like you have so many, like a ton of passengers, where are you going to put all these oxygen tanks?
Yeah, they're not even tanks. They're like plastic bags.
Well, I think the plastic bags are inflated from a tank.
Yeah, but it's not a lot.
I think it's just to comfort you. I think it's all a placebo.
Make you feel safer.
Yeah.
The fasten the seatbelt sign thing, I thought was super cool. So it says, depending on the number of flashes and dings, pilots can communicate to the flight attendants that takeoff or landing is imminent, which is like 2 dings, or even just that they would like a cup of coffee.
Oh.
3 dings generally signal a priority message. This could be something like a severe turbulence warning, letting the flight attendants know to put away the rolling carts and to prepare for bumpy skies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Without like alerting all of the passengers.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. And then the other one, the reason that the pilots don't eat what is given to the passengers, the main reason is if the food on the airplane was contaminated, it's so the pilots themselves don't get
That
sick.
makes a lot of sense. It really does. I mean, sucks for the passengers, but like, yeah.
If they're all barfing and having diarrhea at the same time, you don't want your
There's
pilot doing that.
Usually only one bathroom.
Sometimes two, depending on the plane. So, all right, you win again.
I think I have a record going. We should keep track of this.
No, I don't want to. All right, we can though. Might be kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to have a really great story next week. I don't know what it is yet, but it'll be really, really great.
Cool. I'm excited.
Okay. And until then, don't forget to be a fountain.
And not a Jane.
Bye-bye.
Bye.